guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to be doing the Who Am I book tag. This book tag was put together by PBS for the Great American Read. This is not sponsored. I was tagged by people in this video. This is not a sponsored video, but if you want any more information on the Great American Read, it's basically, they did a poll on the 100 best books in America, and then America's going to vote on the best book from that 100 list, and stuff. There's a lot of stuff, Great American Read stuff, so it's a whole thing, it's a whole campaign. I'll link information for it down below. But I'm pretty sure I was tagged by Madi from My Name is Medinez and Adriana from Perpetual Pages. I think both of them tagged me. I know they both done this tag, and I don't know who all tagged me, but I think they both did. Either way, they have great channels, I'll link them down below. So question number one is, if your life was a book genre, what would it be? And these questions are hard. I had a hard time with this because my life is not interesting. So what I was thinking is that it would either be like a self-help book about anxiety or like a contemporary. But like, I guess a contemporary maybe about like this, like the fact that I'm like a YouTuber or something. Like, girl does YouTube and meh. You know, like I don't know, because my life is, it's not interesting. So like, as much as I want to say like magical realism, no. There's not a lot of magic. Fantasy? No. Sci-fi? Space? No. Nothing fun. Number two is, what villain from a book do you most identify with? And I have two villains for this that I don't really consider villains, I consider antagonists, and that's why I feel like I identify with them most. So the first one I want to talk about is the Wood from Uprooted. Now that's probably a weird answer, and you're like, how do you identify with trees? But like, let me tell you, I kind of do. But also, if you've read this book, you'll kind of know more about this that I don't really want to go into because it's spoilers at the end of the book and everything, but there's a reason the Wood's mad. And I feel like I empathize with that, you know? Like, I feel like I can get behind this, and that the Wood wants to then cause, like, destruction and horror. Yeah, I'm down. The second book being the antagonist from the Night Circus. Now, these are two antagonists who, like I said, aren't really villains. They're not maliciously trying to do anything. They are causing pain by not really thinking about the pain they're causing and really only thinking about themselves. And I think that's something that a lot of people can identify with. Even if that's not something that you try to do, I feel like all of us at some point in our lives have caused other people pain by only thinking about ourselves and our own motives. You know, like, a lot of us are villains in someone else's story, and that's the way that these characters are. And so I feel like anyone can kind of identify with that. Number three is, what protagonist are you most similar to? This is another hard question because a lot of the protagonists I love so dearly, I'm not really like because they're badass and I'm normal. But one that I think I can say as a personality I am most similar to is Blue Sargent from the Raven Boys. And not even necessarily all parts of her personality, but I think something I can relate to her with is she is surrounded by people doing really awesome things, and she really loves those people and cares deeply about her friend group and is very loyal, and is also surrounded by really strong women and people that create things, and she's looking at all of that and she's like, these people are so awesome. And I can definitely appreciate that as a person who's friends with a lot of creative people, a lot of creators here on YouTube, and just like loving my friends here, especially on YouTube, and just being like, wow, you guys do really great things. But also, Blue throughout the series comes to realize her own importance, because I feel like at some point she almost has like this imposter syndrome where she does have these abilities that are cool as well, but she's like, they're not as cool or not as good as like my friends and stuff. And I feel like I sometimes struggle with that kind of imposter syndrome, whether it's about my career or whether it's about my videos or whatever the case may be, and that she comes to realize like, I do cool stuff too. So I kind of feel like I relate to that, especially at this point in my life. And just kind of feeling like, with this transition in graduate school especially, kind of coming into my own and being like, I am good at things too, you know? Like, it's not like I ever had like bad self-esteem, but it was just like, man, my friends are awesome. And I feel like I relate to Blue in that way. Number four is, which book did you connect to in the past that you no longer do? And I think that a lot of people can relate to this. My answer is the Twilight series. Now, this is not going to be like a Twilight hate fest, but I now see a lot of the faults with Twilight, but I still do have a lot of the nostalgia for Twilight. I loved Twilight and everything about it, and I still have like visceral memories of like my emotional, physical reactions to the series. Like, I was very, very invested. If I reread the series, I do not believe I would be invested anymore and I would see a lot of the faults and things. But it doesn't quite take away from the fact that at a certain point in my life, those books did matter a lot to me. And there was a lot of things that I did love about those and that I connected with. And I did want some of these problematic aspects of that book and that like toxic masculinity. Like, I liked that at a certain point. Now I don't. Now I see the problems with it. But at one point, Twilight meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to a lot of people. Number 5 is, what recent read would you love to be a character in? This one is also difficult, and I will stand by the fact that basically any book that I read, I do not really want to be a character in because book worlds are dangerous, and this world in particular, there's a lot going on and it's hella dangerous, but I cannot resist the appeal of magical assassin nuns. So I'm currently reading Grey Sister. I previously read Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. And these books, I do kind of want to be a magical assassin nun. You know? But like, their world is shit. Like, it's totally awful and horrible things happen and these kids are not even like really allowed to be kids and it's bad. But like, it's a bunch of women doing kick-ass stuff, hanging out together and learning things in basically like a boarding school-esque convent type school environment. And it's great. So I kind of feel like maybe I would want to be a character. Of all the books, that's the one that's like, okay, if I'm being trained to be cool, like maybe it'd be fine. I still don't, it's a grimdark world. I don't really want to live there, but like, magical assassin nuns, man. Number 6 is, how do your reading habits show off your personality? So I am a mood reader and I have to read just what I want to. I can't do TBRs really. I mean, it's hard enough to stick to a TBR for like a readathon, which is short term. I just read as my mood allows me to, which I think is just very indicative of my life and just needing to kind of follow my passions and kind of having a mildly obsessive personality. So if I get obsessed with a certain like genre or thing or hobby or whatever, like I stick to that, and that's kind of how I feel like I am with my reading as well. Also, a love of the dramatic, which is why I love that fantasy, man. Like, I can't read contemporary because I'm like, oh, I don't care, it's too normal. But like the fantasy, I'm like, yeah, give me that drama, give me that angst. Number 7 is, what book taught you something about yourself? And I'm kind of giving a non-answer to this because there's no one book that sticks out to me. I feel like I take tidbits from everything that I read. That is one of the reasons why I love reading. I take something from it, or it gives me a nostalgic feeling, or it allows me to talk to other people about the book or dissect the book, or it introduces me to a new trope that I really like, or a new writing style, or a new author. There's so many things I can take from every book and apply them to life in some way. So it's a non-answer because I don't have like this one singular book that like, this taught me things. It's just that like every book that I read interacts with me in some way that changes me in some small and significant way, even potentially. Maybe even just makes me mad for a little while, who knows. But ultimately, every book has some kind of impact on me, and that's why I enjoy reading. So that is it for the Who Am I book tag. Comment down below, let me know some of the answers to these for you. I'm going to tag Kayla from Book of Doodles, and Sarah Jane from The Book Life, and Sean from Reader's Rambles. So, I don't know if they've done this tag, hopefully they haven't, and they'll do it now. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!